Hi, this is Sanjay Gangal from GISCafe. I'm here with Craig Brower, president of Edgybees Inc. Hello, Craig.
Hi, Sanjay. How are you doing? It's good to be with you today.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Craig. So tell us about Edgybees.
Sure. So Edgybees is an exciting startup company. Our actual name started as we actually originally started as a gaming company, and then kind of moved from that into supporting first responders, wildfires, things of that nature. And the key technology behind Edgybees is taking data in real time and making it accurate. So think of drone data, videos coming off of a drone. They tend to be jumpy, they tend to be jittery, and they tend to be very inaccurate. Our software actually can take that data in real time in less than 120 milliseconds, and we can make it accurate and project it onto the right spot on the planet. Now, in addition to that, we just recently announced a new product taking the same technology and applying it to commercial satellite imagery. So now we're also geo-registering satellite imagery, EO imagery at the moment, and we're doing that in a matter of seconds per frame. So if you think about a large frame of image coming in from a satellite, we can now correct that frame within 5 to 7 seconds per frame, so that now the operators can have that data in an accurate geospatially positioned location.
So how do you do that?
So we do that through the use of AI and machine learning. What's different about us is we're not like identifying cars and trucks and things like that in the AI ML. We're actually identifying control points in that video and or satellite imagery as it comes into our software, and we do that in real time. So we're looking across that scene. We're pulling together hundreds, if not thousands, of control points. We're then matching those control points to a customer provided base image. And one example is you could be using Esri's web mapping tile service, and then we can register that to Esri's web mapping tile service for the user. And so now all of their video and all their commercial satellite imagery will match up to that Esri working environment that they're used to working in. And we can match to anybody's source. It's just Esri's one of the big, large providers and has a very nice web mapping tile service that the customers can use and actually do the registration to it.
Okay, and do you work like an OEM for, let's say, satellite imaging, where the satellite operators are using you to correct their images? Or is it the end users who get the satellite images and they get your software to fix satellite images that they've gotten from somewhere else?
Yeah, it's actually both. So we do a little bit of both. So as far as what we register to, I mentioned the Esri earlier, that is customer provided. So if the customer has whatever base they want us to register to, we'll register to it. So in some cases, we're working with direct users of that satellite imagery. They're buying lots of it, they're bringing it in, or drone imagery, and we're correcting it for them for their analytic environment, whether that's a human analyst or whether that's a machine analyst. And in other cases, we're working with and partnering with a number of the imagery providers to actually help them correct their image as well as it comes into their ground station before it goes to customers. So our solution really fits wherever a customer needs that data accurate and they need that data consistent, so that if they're running other algorithms against it, they'll have consistent data to work with.
Okay, and same thing applies to drone full motion video?
Yeah, same thing applies there. A little bit different in the drone world. Most of our drone customers are working more in a real-time environment. So in the drone, for the drone solution, our solution is can be in the cloud, it can just be a cloud service you link to. It can also be on-prem, so we can install the software. It's a software-only solution. We can install it right in the customer space, or we literally can show up with a black box, plug the black box into their networks, bring the live video feed in, correct it, and give it back to them into their application of choice. And so all of this is done within, like I said, about 120 milliseconds. So the video is corrected in real time. And then one additional service that we offer on the video side is we have the ability to bring in other information like the roads, the buildings, annotations or notations about the area that you're working. And all of that can be also layered in and registered into that same stack. So now the operator of the drone has a much better understanding and idea of where they're at. You know, if they're following a vehicle, for example, you could have the roads on top of that, the road names, so they could tell an operator that, hey, whoever you're following is on 4th Street, they're about to turn on the main street. And now you can see all of that played out. So we give you that full contextual view plus we make it all accurate. And that's on the video side. Satellite, again, you don't necessarily need the overlays, but the satellite side, we make it accurate and deliver it to the client.
Is your software being primarily used by city, local, city, county, state, federal government entities, or is it being used commercially as well?
Yeah, so it's commercial and government and governments. So we're operational with some international governments. We work obviously with the U.S. government, especially in the areas like the DoD and those kinds of areas where you would imagine they would want this type of technology for drones, especially. But we also do commercial work. We work with some of the big telco companies, folks that are providing disaster response, those kinds of things. We've also done a lot of work. You'll see a number of things on our website about fires, where we've been able to go in and actually help register that data in real time so the operator understands exactly where they are. Most people just don't realize that data coming off of drones and satellites isn't always accurate. And that's been kind of a big thing that we've had to do a lot of work on to educate the community that that data is not natively accurate. It needs some adjustment when it comes to the ground. It's usually good, but it's just not as good as the operator needs. And so we come in and make it much better for them.
Okay, and you can get down to accuracy of a meter, submeter, centimeter, millimeter.
Yeah, it depends on the sources. Mm-hmm. So typically we tell folks we get down to between 1 and 3 meters, depending on what the source of the image is. But again, one other way to look at it is we get the accuracy down to about 2 pixels of the worst image that we're working with. So if I've got a half meter image from a satellite coming in and I'm registering it to a half meter base image, I'm going to get that to roughly within a meter. If those numbers go up, then those, the accuracy numbers go up a little bit, but roughly, say 1 to 3 meters. And we do that very, very quickly. Satellite imagery, we've seen inaccuracies, range anywhere from, 10 to 150 meters. And on the drone imagery, we see that's usually a little more accurate. It's usually in the 5 to maybe 50 to 100 meters off on the drone side. But drone imagery obviously is a much higher resolution. So again, we can get that down to usually meter or sub-meter resolution for the drone side.
Okay, and is Edgybees profitable?
We're not we're a startup. So we've been around now since 2017. We've been growing year over year, and our numbers are much better. We're not public, so obviously don't share those numbers, but been doing very well. We've completed last year. We did our A round of investment. This probably later this year, or early next year, we'll probably go out for a B round. But seeing good success. The success is spread. We've got U.S. government, we've got international governments, and we have commercial business. So it's spreading out, and the word is starting to get out more, and people are starting to realize that they need the service. That's one of the biggest challenges we have, is helping people understand that they need the service and that they need data to be accurate and why they need it to be accurate.
Yeah, and you're seeing some international adoption as well, right?
Yes, definitely seeing some international adoption as well. We're still very small, so we don't have a very large international footprint at the moment, but we are getting good traction there as well, and seeing a lot of adoption in that area as well. Okay,
and what is the best way for our audience to find out more about Edgybees on the internet?
Sure. So our website it's easy. It's edgybees.com. So again, just edgybees.com, and a lot of information there. We're actually working on an update right now. Hopefully in a few weeks, we'll have a refresh to the website, but definitely can go there. And then from there, they can click on and ask for more information, see some video samples. You also can see us at the Esri conference next week. We'll be there. We're in the startup pavilion there next week. So.
Okay, great. So Craig, is it okay if I ask you a couple of personal questions?
Sure, that's fine.
So what do you do for fun outside work, or what is your personal passion?
Right now, I've been building a house for the last couple of years, and it's taken a couple of years in this current situation with supplies and things like that. So the majority of my free time lately has been spent on working on a house. So I'm actually down. We built a garage apartment to start with, and so we're kind of living in that while we're actually building the house. So that's where I'm spending most of my time right now. Other than that, it would be out, either hiking or or traveling and getting out with now kids are adults, so not with the kids as much now, but do catching up with them and starting to catch up with grandkids now is good. So
are you in the house that you're building right now?
I'm in the garage apartment that we built first.
I see.
This is going to become an Airbnb once we get into the house. But we're building the house on the same property. And so I'm down here this week. So.
Oh, pretty cool. Craig, can you also share something about yourself that most people at Edgybees who work with you don't know about you?
Yeah. So what would I share that? Well, one thing is my original background. So I've been in the defense and intelligence community for my entire career, but I initially started out as a commercial photographer. So my original degree is in commercial photography. I had a wedding photography business on the side for many, many years. And two real notable events that some people will recognize, you may or may not. My house I didn't mention earlier, I'm building in North Carolina outside of Chapel Hill. But my most famous wedding that we ever photographed was Eric Montross's wedding, which was a large 7-foot center, graduated from Carolina many years ago. Got a chance to actually take pictures of him with Dean Smith and Woody Durham and those guys. So that was quite a unique event. And then one other real unique event was I actually got a chance to be one of the official photographers at the inauguration for Bill Clinton, his inauguration at the Union Station. So a couple of interesting events.
Well, that's quite an achievement. Well, thank you so much, Craig, for taking time to record this interview. Have a great day and stay safe.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Sanjay Gangal from GISCafe.